Disaster Communication gi paravati gina Nagaland State Disaster Management Authority aro Open Source Classes for Amateur Radio India collaborates Krisha aro ito radio technology chalai gina mock drill exercise kribli lagase. Nsdma aro Oscar India collaborate wado All India School of Management and Information Technology laga initiative ase. Aro ito innovative drill rakibali maksat ase. Ijo partnership ra communities majodi empower kribli aro emergency homoide coordinate aro tik homoide response kribli laga initiative ase quick natch naisha. Ido partnership ligina media gangi aji May 10 day Nsdma conference hall Kohima di press conference rakishe aro Johnny Rongmoy joint CEO Nsdma bra address krushe. Details abo.
Yesterday the Nsdma Home Department had organized a disaster emergency communication drill using amateur ham technology, and we are very proud to say that this is a first in the state. And yesterday the drill was held in 3 sites. And we had enacted a scenario where tourists got lost in Zuku Valley, and there was no communication, no networks were there, and we had to rescue them using ham technology. So today we are holding a debriefing for that session. Thank you.
We are very grateful to you for carrying the message of safety and resilience to the community always. And this year we hope that we will also have a program exclusively for you, and our media persons later on will be relating to you, maybe officially to all the media houses here in the state. Once again, thank you for having come over and spared your time to be present in this press briefing. This press briefing, as our chair, Ms. Karen was saying, that we had emergency mock drilled communication systems. Now, in any eventualities, especially in earthquake, if there are bigger magnitude scale, we can expect that the current, very strongly connected networks would certainly go off. And we talk about a radio, we call it walkie-talkie, and that's one channel that we rely on. But there is another channel which is very, very reliable and resilient, and that is called amateur ham radio technology. And yesterday we were conducting the drill using the amateur ham radio technologies. The site that we have identified was at Zalake, in one point where towards Puilua there is one picnic spot below the road. If you go down there, you will not find any mobile network. So we went there in order to see that that is the site where the forest fire happens, and we were trying to relate. So good lessons for us. When the team went there, we were supposed to start the mock exercise by 12 p.m. and when the team 3 went up there, they could not establish the network, and they took 2 hours or 3 hours. By 3 p.m. only they are able to establish a network, communication network, to relay the informations from there to the state emergency operation centers. So we had that drill, which was very lessons learned mock drill. Learnings that we carried along with that mock drill. One is, this is the first of its kind that we have ever done. If Nikand, he is from the Oscar India, a very wide network of the ham radio technologies who have been always in all the disaster event, be it any cyclone that you name it, including even the Nepal earthquake, they were there, in the first day, because this is one channel that they have been relaying the situations from the site, from ground zero. So we had this in collaboration with Oscar, and if Neil can also confirm, I think the Nagaland State Disaster Management Authority is one of the first state disaster management authority to be entering into hands-on learning on this amateur ham radio. On the 26th, 27th and 28th of April, we had 3 days hands-on training. The objective of why the Nsdma entering into this sector is that in the month of July, the Ministry of Communications thought they will be conducting an exam for license, ham radio operators exams. So our objective is that we would like Nsdma officers and staff to be the license operator of this ham radio. So the training that we had, the 3 days training, was that the first phase of our officers and staff we will be writing. The second phase we are going to come up again. So by the end of this year, I'm told the Ministry of Telecom take only 30 days to declare the result again. So we hope that by August end or by first week of September, we will be having a licensed ham radio operators here within the state disaster management authorities. So for your kind information, this will be the first state disaster management authority in the country to have entered into the ham radio technologies for emergency communication systems. Now, all of you might have experienced even last year's Nagaland emergency preparedness exercise. Our friend, all of you who are here would really remember that last year's during our emergency preparedness exercise, the statewide mega mock drill also, we simulate earthquake, and we say that all the networks are down, but we find it very difficult to relay and connect to many of the districts. This year we hope that in our drill this year we will be using this ham radio technology, and we hope that we would be able to broadcast. Now the ham radio technology is this is one of the oldest systems of communications. If you remember, as a child we used to be tuning in to Kohima All India Radio channel, and we used to be listening to early news or programs or Western music. Now we are using the same wavelength. Now as an operator, my wavelength will be there, and then I'm broadcasting, and if any radio available in the community, any family, they tune into the same channel, they will be able to listen. So in the case of emergency, when everything went off, what we are looking at it is our operators, licensed operators, more than what I have spoken here is being written here and being informed here. The most reliable network in times of disaster is this amateur ham radio network, and we are entering into this. We hope that we will be also able to reach out to this is first phase that we are looking at it. The second phase that we are looking at it is we are going to target school children. Our friend who had come from Oscar, can you introduce, madam?
I was in the hobby when I was in class 6, 12 years. That was my age when I started the hobby, and I got my license during 14 years, 4 years back, and since then I have been communicating through it, and this network is fabulous because when all the GSM networks will fall, nothing will work. This network will help us, because yesterday's drill where we were, there was a region where no networks could be covered and there was not a single connection, but we were able to place an effective communication through radios, through antennas, and that was on a road between two hills. So that's the power of our hobby, that's the power of ham radio. Irrespective of all issues, hills or rocks, whatever it may be, you will be able to communicate very seamlessly once you learn all its measures.
A ham radio operator or whoever wants to use this as their hobby we will be reaching out. But first, we will have to get trained ourselves. We will have to become the operator, a licensed operator. Nobody can just broadcast, because we have exams to pass, and we hope that by the end of September, we will have our licensed operators within us, and then we will be reaching out. And we are very grateful to Oscar team also. We have been talking about this for the past 2 years.
Yes.
And learning all these new technologies, and today we are here. The second phase of the training would be also organized soon for the officers, and maybe some of you, if some of the media personnel here wanted to come and join us, you are most welcome. We will give you a slot. We may not be able to give to all, but whoever interested, maybe 2-3 slots we will be able to give you. You can also appear the exams, and you can be one of the operator as well. And even for you, this will become very, very handy. It will stand you in a very good state when all this gazette that we use today failed. So maybe perhaps it is very of paramount importance for you also to have such a license. You can come and join us. It is open source. Now we'll have to understand, if you really look at it, the communications web LAN, especially the mobile phone, some of them now started connecting from sky to the earth, satellite base. Now with the coming of this the Starlink, Elon Musk Starlink, now we call it that Geofiber, which is connecting Wi-Fi to almost all the homes. That is the byproduct of the Starlink, and they are started communicating from satellite down to the Earth surface, and this wave travels along the surface of the Earth. If there is a mountain also, it will go through the mountain and go down like that. And the radio, the walkie-talkie web LAN, it goes from we call it line of sight, from one point to another point. But this will go through the surface. That's why it's open source. But however, in order to operate it, we need to have a license. It's the similar wavelength of the radio, the common radio that we operate. Same thing. The license operator will be a small radio stations actually. Once we have the license, we will have the radio. We will have to procure a radio. It's not a very costly gazette. It's a simple radio. Nowadays, we can even communicate from here, or we can even communicate from your the phone apps. If we establish and connect link to the thing, we can even connect from the phone app. There are many other apps also going on, but those apps can communicate now. There are many apps, these same systems, but these apps are operating based on the GSM connectivity. Once that fails, we will not be able to establish any communication. But the setup that we are going to have, there will be a small radio, and we will have an antenna. That antenna we can put it even in the bamboo pole. We can put it anywhere. So it's a small antenna. In fact, yesterday we have dismantled down. We were all fixing one small antenna there.
Just mental one antenna within. Niladri, please fix the antenna within 1 week.
Yeah. So we will show you the antenna how we fix it. So particular level of the web where they are broadcasting, they will be able to connect. They will be able to receive the message, but they will not be able to communicate because they are not the operator.
Okay, this is a GP antenna, and yesterday we were connecting with all the stations, with many of them, and we are using HF sets and VHF sets for it.
Our training calendar has been just approved, so our next training will be in the month of October. So maybe you can also find your time. Whoever wants to have it, please kindly send in your name. We will 3 days. Even hands-on, how to fix even all this.
Sir, I just would like to mention one thing, that there are many awareness classes going on throughout the country. But as sir mentioned early, that Nsdma is the first authority in country who take amateur radio seriously. Okay, and let me clear you one thing, that throughout the world, many countries are there who take it very seriously, and they are treating it as a alternative method of communication. Fine. If you went to the Japan or USA, you will see all the setups there, and from any places. Like yesterday, like Zuluk, Zalake. So there was no mobile phone. There was no mobile network. Fine. So if disaster happen in this kind of place, I can assure that Nsdma will still can communicate from that place. And as per the calendars and as per the schedule, all the officials will be trained with all the equipments. And this is the antenna. This is a GP antenna, ground plane antenna. So many antennas are there. Depend on the situations and depend on the scenario, we have to change the antenna. So there are many antennas. So they all will be able to build the antenna also. So that's as per the agenda of Nsdma, that all the officials can build the antenna also. If it's needed, they can build it and they can make the setup by their own.
Yesterday what happened was, we started the drill by 12 noon. So the team 3 reached there. And since we do not have the mobile network communication there in that particular spot where, the picnic spot, I think all of us have seen that. So we waited and we were communicating, we were relaying this communication from ACOC to here Secretariat, the station 1. And we are also relaying to Kolkata, to the Oscar operators who are placed in different parts of Kolkata. So we were relaying to it, but we are not able to communicate establish communication to the team 3. So we are able to communicate to team 3 only at 3 p.m. So which means they were looking into different areas wherever this networks can be linked up. So that's how we are looking at it. So we were able to establish the communications. So today, it is not that this kind of stations we will install permanently anywhere, but one advantage of this is wherever there is an incident, this can go along with us in a small bag and set up the communications and relay back to us. These communication systems will only be using by that operation team or response team only. But for the victim who is there already, DDMA has to come in and then, relay to us. But the victim will not be able to communicate. Now the idea is this, that in case of any eventualities of big magnitude of earthquake, when everything went off, then this is going to come in as the only channel for communications. Until and unless we erect, the mobile tower or any other channels, before we re-establish any damaged communication channel, this will be only channel where we will be communicating. So the team will go there and relay, okay, this many people died, these many houses destroyed, so that only the team will be, after assessment, will be relaying back to us. Not for the victim to communicate to us. Within the system to function, especially for the response team. Yeah. And if the school children, suppose she was a school girl, in any eventualities, if anything happened in her house, she will be able to broadcast, and she will be able to receive also. But one has to be the operator, licensed operator, and should have that gazette. That's why we are also reaching out to the school. The school, first we will have to become the master, then we will go. In this year's calendar, schools is not there, but that is in the pipeline. Because we first wanted to have hands-on experience, because they have been using for many years. And it has become so smooth that they can handle anything. So we want to also get into that level yet first. The first event of pre-monsoon hit this Tining and Atibung and that block very badly. Of course, there were other reports also in the other districts, but the windstorm and the event was very mild. But many houses were taken down. I think roads were disrupted in Atibung and that block, Tining areas. Jaluki area is not affected. Now when we look back, that 23rd incident in Peren, as per the norms of assistance that the Nsdma is supposed to give out, but we are awaiting, it comes up to 4.8 crore. But if you really look at the actual loss on the 23rd, which occurred at Peren, it will come up to around the actual cost of the damage. The actual cost of the damage, or let us relate that to economic loss to the community or to the state, will come up to more than 50 crore. Will come up to more than 50 crore. So now quite many of the decision makers in the countries or in many other countries really don't realize the correlation of disaster event and the economic growth or economic loss. But this is very important. So this year the Nagaland State Disaster Management Authority is compiling all the damage report. What is the norm, the relief that assistance that needs to be given out as per the norms of assistance? We can't give more than that because we don't have resources. Then actual cost, what exactly is that? We are doing it. So we are working on the graphs, we are working on the infographics. So many things are there now. That we are still doing it. And then for Samator district, on the 19th late night and 28th early morning, the hailstorm and heavy precipitation that event that took place, all of us experienced. I think all of us, even in Kohima, it was a really terrified night. So that day, even if you really look at it, the state has lost an economy estimated than more than 180 crore. I mean, if you really look, some of the videos that we have, I'm sure you have seen, some bridges were taken down, many roads were taken down, and 2 teachers, how many days they were trapped?
3 of them on polling duty.
On polling duty, when they were returning, they were in Samator district, they were trapped for how many days?
They were trapped for some time.
Some time in between, because that side road is blocked, this side road is blocked because of the mudslide. So they were there. I think the picture was there, and then if you follow our social media's pages, so that videos and pictures were there. So that incident has really cost us quite huge. So these are the 2 major incidents pre-monsoon event that had occurred so far. And the frequency of these extreme weather events have increased, and we can also expect the number to increase. The only hope that we have in disaster management, you always use this slogan, nah? We always hope for the best, but we also always prepare it for the worst. Nah? So that is the only thing that we are harping on. The event of 23rd and the event of late 19th evening and early 20th April has really cost us. Now if you put that cost together, it will boom up. So now 19th late evening and 20th early morning is a matter of 5 hours. We are looking at from the time that we send out the early warning message SMS to all the mobile users. I think we send out around 10:30, and the event occurs somewhere around 11 o'clock. So if you really look at it, from 10:30 we are looking at 3 o'clock in the morning. So that period, not even half a day, has caused us that economic loss to that extent. So it is something that we need to really do in every developmental work that we do, be it road and bridges building, be it urban development, be it individuals home building. If we have the philosophy of incorporating in all our developmental activities the concept of disaster risk reduction, we will all stand. together. Medical college, the present medical college has really looked into the disaster risk reduction components so highly. So each of the development, be it urban, be it road infrastructure, or be it even communication channels, we need to really bring in the concept of disaster risk reduction. That is the only reliable and resilient and sustainable way of looking at things. We already have the Nagaland building bylaws. I think the municipal council, the Department of Municipal Affairs and Urban Development, they are the nodal department. Nagaland State Disaster Management Authority has been part of the special task force group in revising the old Nagaland building bylaws, and that Nagaland building bylaws was I think implementable only in 3 or 4 cities like Kohima, Mokokchung, Dimapur those days. But the present status, we will have to really go to the nodal department and get the right informations there. We are already doing it, and for your kind informations, I think Department of Fire and Emergency Services, we have the Nagaland Fire Emergencies Act, which is already there, and their enforcement is already on now. So incorporating fire safety in all the new structures has become a mandatory thing now, and that is not only for the sake of policies, but it is for the safety of humanity. It is not for the sake of the policies, but for the safety of humanity, because in the recent time we had so many fire incidents before our own eyes, nah? So now it's high time, especially in Kohima, in Dimapur. Just the other day, so we had a big fire incident in the Bamakem area, where I think more than 100 houses were affected. So our district disaster management authority in Dimapur is taking care of the immediate relief and other things. Maybe the rest of the things for the the relief assistance as per the norms will be coming in, but they are already taking care through the immediate relief to some extent. Yeah. So we had so much of fire incidents. So the fire is one area that we need to really look at it. We want to put it into the proper graphic. So key-free we have had, but we are asking key-free to send in because once we come up, we want to include everyone. We don't want to leave anyone behind. So that is there. We were about to complete, but after this, so we will be looking into that. Yeah, key-free has not been properly done yet, so we don't want to. But by next week you will get it, sir. We will give the graphic and infographics also this time in a very easy to read pro forma.